morning. Welcome back to Daybreak on this first day of September 2020. My name is Sam Gitukono, just in time for the news update at 9 o'clock. And today we're doing things differently because we have a winner. I want to begin with the story of Victoria Rubadiri, my colleague here at Citizen TV, who is now Kenya's Kenya's Victoria Rubadiri wins BBC World News Komla Dumor Award. This is on the BBC News site, and you'll see there Kenya investigative reporter and TV anchor Victoria Rubadiri has won the 2020 BBC World News Komla Dumor Award. Of course, they're giving a background history of Rubadiri, and she's a multifaceted journalist in East Africa and has interviewed some of the leading names in politics and current affairs. The award was created to honor Komla Dumor, a presenter for BBC World News, who died suddenly, aged 41 in 2014. And of course, the Citizen TV is also reporting that on our Twitter handle, that is Citizen TV Kenya. Citizen TV anchor Rubadiri wins the 2020 BBC Komla Dumor Award. We've been seeing a lot of comments from you, of course, congratulating Rubadiri for her work and her win. But now she joins us. Victoria, good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning. First of all, congratulations on this award. How does this make you feel?
Thank you. You know, I'm still trying to, I guess, come to terms with the fact that it's here, it's out. I've known the news for a couple of months now.
Right.
So I guess the tough part was trying to keep it a secret. But it's extremely, extremely humbling, I must say.
Wow, you said that you've done this for a couple of months, but how did it happen? The process of entering for this and the selection, and of course the communication that you are the winner for this year?
Right, so you apply like many other African journalists online. You submit just different stories that show the body of work as a journalist and your contributions to the industry, after which you go through a panel interview, and they now assess, you know, who is this individual beyond the stories that they told, to get a better idea of how you think, how you interact with different bits of information. And then about a month later, you get a call and you're told, you know, you're this year's winner. So, I mean, again, still really shocking. It's an amazing experience. BBC is such a respected, news outlet globally. So to get this kind of validation is amazing.
Right, and congratulations for that. But do you remember the stories that you entered and what they were about?
Yeah, I can remember at least two. So there's one that I did called Nairobi by Bike. And it was basically showing how difficult it is for traffic users to navigate through the city center. And so I took a bike ride from the Westlands Roundabout down to University Way, and just showing how our roads do not accommodate pedestrians, let alone bike users or anyone who's going to be using non-motorized traffic. And they were really taken by how visual the story was. It was a very simple story, but the message it passed, was very clear that something needs to be done. And as a result, WWF actually reached out to me and said they're in the process of putting together a policy on non-motorized traffic for Nairobi specifically, as they look at doing something for the country. So that was one of the stories that I submitted.
Right, that's very interesting. And tell you what, as I was doing research on you, Victoria, some of the stories that I came across was that one. I just didn't know that it's what you entered. My director will be looking for it, Nairobi by Bike, so that we see if we can run excerpts of it. But all the same, so now the news has come. Now we know. So what are the next few weeks to months looking like for you?
Yeah, well, as you know, COVID has disrupted a lot. And ordinarily, I would have been in London right now, starting the training. But of course, things have been delayed. That has been pushed to next year. So really for the next year, I'll just be continuing on with my work at Citizen, hopefully doing more special reports on bike users or anyone who's going to be using non-motorized traffic. And they were really taken by how visual the story was. It was a very simple story, but the message it passed, was very clear that something needs to be done. And as a result, WWF actually reached out to me and said they're in the process of putting together a policy on non-motorized traffic for Nairobi specifically, as they look at doing something for the country. So that was one of the stories that I submitted.
Right, that's very interesting. And tell you what, as I was doing research on you, Victoria, some of the stories that I came across was that one. I just didn't know that it's what you entered. My director will be looking for it, Nairobi by bike, so that we see if we can run excerpts of it. But all the same, so now the news has come. Now we know. So what are the next few weeks to months looking like for you?
Yeah, well, as you know, COVID has disrupted a lot. And ordinarily, I would have been in London right now, starting the training. But of course, things have been delayed. That has been pushed to next year. So really for the next year, I'll just be continuing on with my work at Citizen, hopefully doing more special reports and raising very important issues. So it gives me time as well to identify what it is I really want to get out of this opportunity and this award scheme. So I'll be around. As much as I think some people have been asking, does this mean that you are leaving Royal Media Services? No, I'm still at Citizen. This is just a temporary training scheme after which I come back. So yeah,
I don't have specifics on when it begins as yet.
It should begin, well, they're yet to give that specific date, but it should begin next year around September, so around this time.
Okay. Okay, all right. And of course, Victoria, you are the second person to win this award in Kenya. And the first person was also my colleague, so that is Wahiga Mora. And Wahiga Mora is now joining us by way of phone. Good morning, Wahiga. And of course, I will allow you the opportunity to really pass your wishes to Victoria as she becomes the second win after yourself here at Citizen TV.
Good morning, Sam. And I wish you can see me smiling where I am. First of all, let me say how proud I am and really happy I am to see that the Komla Dumor Award is back in East Africa, where it's been for the last 2 years, is in Kenya, and seems to have made a permanent home at the Royal Media Services. I cannot think of a more deserving journalist than Victoria Rubadiri to be this year's winner. When I heard about the announcement this morning, I just reflected back on the story that she did this particular Saturday. Sam, as I'm sure our viewers know, we spent the last week and a half focusing on Katiba Act 10. And if you watched Victoria's story, Article 43, what rights Kenyan people have in the Constitution, those are the people-driven stories that everyone, wanted, media houses to focus on. And I hope and trust that this award will give Victoria even greater impetus to be able to tell more stories of such a nature into the next year, and even when she goes to London for her training. Congratulations, Vicky. Well done.
Right, and Wahiga, just before I bring in Victoria to make her response, of course, now we know that you've been there, done it, and so what does it entail? There are many people that have been asking, what does this award entail in terms of the form of training you get and even the experience thereafter?
Oh, well, Sam, let me see how I can capture 3 or 4 months of training in 30 seconds. One, it gives you a chance to go broader. I was able to experiment with different media platforms. I haven't done a lot of radio in my past. I did a lot of radio stories, a lot of online writing. You know, TV is my first love. So it gives you a chance to broaden your storytelling capabilities. It also gives you a chance to go deeper. If you have a topic or a speciality, those 3 months could be the place where you really hone in on it. And of course, you get this amazing opportunity to be mentored by some of the world's best. I had a chance to learn from the likes of Steven Saka of Hard Talk, a gentleman called Ross Atkins, who's really good, and also just really watch veterans like Sophie Kenya, Peter Okoche do their thing, and just really learn from them as well. It's an amazing experience, something that I wish every journalist on the African continent would get the chance to do once in their career.
Right, very interesting, their perspectives. And so, Victoria, there is Wahiga. Have you been interacting with him, and especially at the moment that you're making your application? And what are your thoughts based on what he's just said?
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to, the experience. Wahiga was very, very instrumental in kind of helping me and guiding me through this process, what to highlight when it comes to my journalistic experience and my journey. So, once I did get the award, it's just a testament to how much even TV, they give us space and room to work on our craft and to showcase our talent. So I'm excited to see what more I can do through this award scheme and the training. As Wahiga had mentioned, the different individuals, the talent at BBC, people you can draw from and glean from in terms of their experience, and being able to just dig deeper when it comes to certain issues, and then bringing that back now to Kenya. That's my biggest hope, is I'm able to now elevate my skill set and bring that back in terms of storytelling to Kenya.
Right. And Wahiga, if you're still on the line, so now with all these experiences, of course, one of the areas that journalists keep looking for is where you can get some training to improve your skills. How does this help the profession, but also what do you think are the opportunities that are out there for journalists, not just those that are currently practicing, but also those that are starting up?
Well, that's a very good question, Sam. First of all, I think COVID has really affected potential training opportunities out there in 2020. So a lot of the training programs that I knew would have been available this year have been put on hold till 2021, as Victoria has said. But nevertheless, I think one of the great things about being able to go and practice your journalism in another jurisdiction is that it allows you to see what bigger stories there are out there. In the past, we have been accused of focusing too much on politics. This training will give Victoria the chance to walk away from that space, look at other stories, and hopefully come back and be able to better tell them, or inspire other journalists to look at other stories beyond the ones that are considered the norm here. For me, I think my love for investigative journalism was sort of honed even greater when I was at the BBC during the training program. Some of the stories that I've been able to work on since I came back, I did a story about China-Kenya relations, especially when it came to retailers. Stories like Mara Heist and all the others came partly out of the sort of passion and dedication I saw from some of the people that I worked with when I was there. So I definitely, the pressure is on Vicky. I expect to see some amazing stories when she gets back from that training program. And it comes very natural because you get to see people who've gone ahead of you, and the best you can do is emulate what they've done in your space.
All right, thank you so much, Wahiga Mora, for that. And Victoria, before I let you go, let's just get us just an example of that story that you did, Nairobi by bike, if you have it now.
Every Nairobian is familiar with this scene. Endless lanes of cars and public service vehicles literally parked on the road. The fortunate ones are those that can quickly maneuver through this daily quagmire. They coast through Nairobi's roads on two wheels. Now, if a motorbike is not your speed in terms of thrill or budget, then maybe its non-motorized predecessor is. I'm going to attempt to cycle down Waiaki Way, just close to the Westlands roundabout, down to the University Way roundabout to get a sense of what it's like to use this mode of transport. Why, you may ask? Well, it certainly is faster than sitting in traffic. And earlier this week, Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko had encouraged Nairobians to embrace non-motorized traffic to reduce the number of cars on the road. So if I was to do this by car, my navigation app tells me it will take roughly 8 minutes from this point. My colleague David will monitor how long it takes him to get to that destination. We might get there a bit faster, but let's see what's Oasis down the road.
All right, very interesting there, Victoria. Of course, looking back, did you think it would ever get you to where you are now?
No, not at all. For me, I was just doing a story that I felt would highlight an area that many of us kind of overlook. Not at all in a way that would give me this kind of recognition. So, again, that speaks to what we do as journalists. You're just doing that to inform the public, not necessarily for the accolades or the recognition that comes with it. If it does, well and good. If not, you've done your job. You've informed the public. So that was my motivation.
All right. Thank you so much, Victoria. Once again, congratulations. And a lot of them coming from our colleagues here at Citizen TV, of course, continue to celebrate Victoria Rubadiri, who becomes the second Kenyan to win the Komla Dumor Award 2020 after Wahiga Mora. And that's our time on Citizen TV. And of course, you can continue to stay tuned for more. In as far as the world of news is concerned, Samana Citizen is up next starting 10 o'clock. The Daybreak takes a break, but returns tomorrow at 6 o'clock with Trevor. Bye for now. My name is Sam Gituku.